today's video, we're going to be looking at ticker symbol OSCR, also known as Oscar Health. I'm going to be looking at the reasons why it has come down quite significantly, and then asking the question, should you buy this, and if so, at what price? So for MMTLP, we're going to be looking at some current updates, including a broker asking one of the investors to sell, and we'll share the price of the details of that price that the broker asked to sell. And before we get started, let's have a look at what happened in the markets earlier today. And from Reuters, we can see solid US jobs growth is masking a weakness underneath in terms of the overall markets, and that's with regard to uncertainty. So news shared live in our market news channel was with regard to the jobs news, and non-payrolls were at approximately 111,000, and the May payrolls overall 139,000. So the overall payrolls were up by 147,000 in June. So this news is fairly good. And in terms of the markets, from CNBC, we can see reaction from the market. Dow Jones up 350 points, and the S&P 500 is hitting fresh record after a better than expected June jobs report. So great news there for the markets. In other news earlier shared was with regard to tariffs, and that was in terms of Vietnam. So Vietnam will pay the United States a 20% tariff on any and all goods sent out into the territory, and a 40% tariff on transshipping. So China is going to have a harder time bypassing US trade tariffs shipping through Vietnam. So I think a number of related stocks, including Nike, were up on that news. In other news here, we can see from CNN, US is lifting the chip design software curbs against China following London trade talks. So positive news there, and hopefully that will lead to a good bounce in the relevant stocks. The overall heat map right now in terms of editing, we can see it's a fairly consistent green across the sectors, including technology, financial, consumer and communication sectors. So great news there. In terms of stock news shared in the Discord, one of the stocks doing well right now is ticker symbol DDOG. Datadog also up over 10%, and they have now joined the S&P 500. So great news there. And we've also shared some important insider buys for ticker symbol CLRB, also known as Selecta Biosciences. So keep an eye out on that stock there. And finally, I also shared live in the Discord one of the stocks that I've just sold. That's ticker symbol AXON, also known as Axon Enterprise, and this is a stock that I sold with 46% profit. I may come back into this, but if you would like to get a copy of the buy and sell alerts, you can join the Discord, and details are in the description below. Before we get started, I'd like to take 1 minute of your time to share details of the Trading Secrets Discord. This includes daily stock alerts shared in the pre-market, the weekly watches shared prior to trading on the Monday, the $1 Million Challenge, and much more. So we also have had some tremendous calls in the weekly watch list, as well as the daily stock alerts, and these include LEAES up over 152% on the week, DOMH up over 210% on the week, IGTI up over 77% on the week, and many more. We have a new channel called Top Ranked Stocks DD, and this includes PDF reports which you can download and use for research and due diligence. Obviously you can join us in live trading chat as well. We've just had a $2,000 Discord update which includes breaking news for stocks, including bio stocks, earnings, analyst ratings, Reddit news, why the stock is moving, and much more. And as well as that, you can join us in the famous $1 Million Challenge, where we look at compound return investing and 201 trades. And just a reminder of the power of compounding. If you have 1 cent, you double that for 30 days, you would have over $5 million, but we are using a strategy of just a 3.5% return. Let's now have a look at ticker symbol OSCR, also known as Oscar Health. The news shared live in the Discord was with regard to the change in the analyst coverage. So we can see here headline 2nd of July 2025, Oscar Health shares fall after Barclays initiates coverage at underweight. So this was the key reason. However, before we look at details of the analyst, let's have a look at the chart. So we can see here over the previous 5 days it is down over 14%, and it was down much more on that particular news, currently trading at $16.46. However, if we have a look at the chart for the year to date, still up over 22%, and we can see market cap here just in excess of $14.19 billion, revenue just in excess of $10 billion, net income $123.34 million. So financials are very, very strong. However, we have a look at the analyst here. The analyst here by the name of Andrew Mock, CFA from Barclays. Success rate 48% and average return from his investments are minus 6.6%. So not a great profile, but he's the person who has led to this significant sell-off for Oscar Health. However, let's now have a look at a bullish side to this in terms of the quick facts. Currently approximately 2 million members. Total revenue in 2024 just in excess of $9.2 billion, so very strong there. 18 states as of December 2024, and medical loss ratio in 2024 81.7%, so strong figures there. In terms of the reality, we're looking at just approximately 2 million members out of 347 million potential in the US, so that's less than 1% of the market penetration, so the potential growth there is huge. Looking at a potential 3% share, could be 7 million members, so that will project their revenue at $27.6 billion. And remember, UNH is currently going through quite a significant amount of trouble, so for a company with a $4 billion market cap, the upside is quite strong. Why does this matter? So the market's pricing in a collapse right now based on this analyst. Obviously Oscar Health is potentially giving people a buying opportunity, which we're going to look at. So if we look at the risk and reward, I do think it's looking close to a good buy at a price I'm going to share with you shortly. However, let's have a look at the revenue growth, and we can see the revenue growth is here, staggering. Compound annual revenue growth approximately 95.9%. so visually, since the IPO, the stock is overall down approximately 5%, but the revenue since that time has grown by 1,400%. So in terms of where would I buy and step in to invest in Oscar Health, from a personal point of view, I'm looking for anywhere close to or below $15, so keep an eye out on ticker symbol OSCR. Let's have a look at the latest updates for MMTLP. And from Rob Carter, we can see here on today's show, he had Junk Savvy, who was on there to discuss MMTLP, their experiences, and also address social media critics. So go ahead and check out that interview. And I think it was a tremendous interview with the Rob Carter show. And what we can see here in terms of Curtis, he's giving a shout out here to Rare DD. So go ahead and check out this excellent video from Rare DD regarding Pete Sessions, who we also covered in the previous video. And we do need answers and accountability. And from Zing, we can see here he's hearing that a few people are getting calls and messages from the SEC Ombudsman today. I got one, he didn't pick it up, but he does have the voice message, and anybody else getting them. So Tonya has stated she got a call back from Miss Lisa. She knew that about MMTLP, and she's told Lisa told Tony that they are meeting on it weekly, so she should also get an email. So go ahead and contact their ombudsman at the SEC to reach out and see if they have contacting you back with regard to your information request. So breaking news here from Junk Savvy, we can see in terms of a legal update, Taggart class action versus Nextbridge Hydrocarbons. This has been dismissed with prejudice in terms of Greg McCabe and John Berder, and we can see in the image shared conclusion, for the foregoing reasons, the court grants both motions to dismiss and dismisses all of the plaintiff's claims with prejudice, and this is on the date of the 3rd of July 2025. So it looks like that was not successful, and what I'd now like to do is give a shout out here to Pete Burns, who stated, has he missed anything with regard to MMTLP? He's got the original shares that he got with the merger and has held them with Hargreave and Lansdowne, and then moved them on to IBKR for them to turn into Nextbridge. However, what he stated here is the last time he spoke to them, they wanted me to sell them all for the price of $1. So this is certainly news to me. I'm not sure why the brokers wanted him to sell them for $1, and if anybody else has also had this experience with IBKR, I'm sure you'll be able to share. And finally, quick shout out to the weekly watch list. In the previous week, we called out some great stocks, including SMCI up over 9.8%, CATX up over 18%, VAC up over 6.7% on the week, FOUR up over 6.6% on the week, and many, many more. If you would like to get the next weekly watch list, details are in the description below, as well as a copy of our daily stock alerts. Remember, the market is closed on Friday for the 4th of July, and hopefully next week we see a tremendous bounce. And finally, thank you very much for watching. Please stay tuned.